Are you a basketball player that wants to make this the best offseason ever? Are you determined to maximize your skills so that next season you make that team, get more playing time, get off the bench, become a starter, become a captain, compete for a championship, whatever your specific goals are? Is this the offseason where you get recruited by colleges? Maybe that one special college that you've had your eye on that you want to attend. Is this your offseason for recruiting? Maybe this is the offseason that you have plans to have make the most amazing memories with your friends, and basketball being a part of that. Memories that are going to last a lifetime. It doesn't matter what your goals are. Today, I'm going to share the number one secret to optimizing your off season. Let's jump in and discuss. Welcome back to Hard and Smart Together. I'm Coach Dave. I'm here every week to help you become a better player by teaching about the mindset, the basketball IQ, and the fundamentals that'll give you the edge to play better, to achieve your goals, and to enjoy the game even more. So today we're talking about optimizing your off season. I truly believe that this is probably the most important video content that I have put out or will put out going forward, because this can not just help you achieve more this off season and free up time for other things in your life. This can help you optimize next school year. This can help you optimize next season. This can help you optimize going forward throughout life. So it doesn't matter if you're a player, a parent, a coach. This is going to be a valuable time to spend to learn this exercise and this principle, this secret of truly optimizing your off season. So, with that said, there are some of you right now that are going, wait a second, he's not teaching the next killer crossover move. He's not teaching today how to shoot like Steph Curry or make passes like Caitlin Clark or shoot from 8 feet behind the three-point line. I'm out. If you don't have the patience to learn a new skill that can drastically affect not just your off-season, but your basketball career going forward, push eject, go on to the next YouTube video, because this is not the next killer crossover video. This is a skill set that you can take forward. This is an exercise that you can personalize for you and for your off-season that's going to help you achieve your goals in a faster fashion and more efficient fashion, and free up time for all the other things in life that you want to do. So that's what today is about. So you're going to have to, not just take this in, but you're going to have to pause long enough to do an exercise, to actually analyze what you're going to do this off season. So I just want to give you an update on what this is going to be, so that if you're not that patient and you're already jonesing to get on to the next video, go. This isn't for you. This is for the people that want to optimize their off season and improve. So I also want to give you a thank you gift for joining me. That thank you gift is a PDF that I made. That's a checklist of what I think are the 8 most important intangible skills that you can have as a basketball player, an athlete. Stand out to your teammates, stand out to other coaches, and it's really going to help you. These are excellent traits to take forward, skills to take forward in your off season, and really start putting them into practice and practicing them during the off season. So I make a checklist form. It's got some descriptions of how you can implement these skills, but they'll really make you stand out. You can scan the QR code below. I'll also put a link in the description below. If you're listening on the podcast, simply go to hardsmarttogether.com/intangibles. Again, it's hardsmarttogether.com/intangibles. You can download that PDF, and that's my free gift for you for joining today. So, optimizing our off season and what's that secret I've been talking about? So, the secret I'm talking about, and I'm all in on this principle. The principle is called Pareto's principle. Pareto is the person that came up with this principle. And it kind of universally, once you start implementing this, like I said, you can implement it for your off season, you can implement it for your basketball career. You might start implementing it for school, for work, for different aspects of your life, because it is a really powerful principle. Okay? But it's going to change your mindset a little bit. So it's also known more commonly as the 80-20 rule. You may have heard this about the 80-20 rule, but we're going to go into detail about what the 80-20 rule is and an exercise that you can do to apply it to your basketball career in your off season. So what's the 80-20 rule? The 80-20 rule simply states 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts or your activities. So let me repeat that. 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts or your activities. So what does that mean? We want to, and that's what we're going to do in the exercise today, we want to identify what's the 20% that's going to move the needle in relation to our specific goals, and what's the 80% that maybe isn't that worthwhile. And so when I say you have to change your mindset, we live in a culture that's, I describe as the hustle culture, the busy culture. Don't get sucked into that culture. Don't get sucked into that culture that your value or your achievement comes from constantly hustling. Hashtag hustle. No. Be smart about your efforts and make time for the other things in your life. Okay? So, we're going to do an analysis, but I want it to be specific to you and your goals. And what do I mean by that? You might be coming into this off season, and I mentioned in the intro, with specific goals on game improvement. I want to get better. My coach says I need to get better in order to get off the bench, in order to be a starter, in order to be a leader for the team, in order for our team to elevate, whatever the case might be. And to get a little more granular, maybe your coach already gave you some areas of the game to work on, right? Is it shooting? Is it defense? Is it finishing? Is it ball handling? Whatever the case might be for you specifically. So you're going into the offseason with, I need to improve in these specific areas of my game, okay? Someone else, maybe you, it's all about, this offseason, it's all about recruiting. It's all about making contact with college coaches. It's all about taking visits. It's all about getting seen. It's all about networking, okay? So for them, maybe it's not as much about improvement. We're always trying to improve in areas of our game, but maybe your focus this offseason is on recruiting. Maybe your focus, maybe your individual goals, maybe I'm never going to play in college. I don't need to be recruited. Maybe you're not all that interested in getting better, but you love playing basketball. You love hanging out with your friends. Maybe your goal is to maximize the fun and the memories that you have with your friends, and basketball is a big part of that. So the analysis that we're going to do today, the exercise that we're going to do today, this 80-20 analysis, is going to be something that's specific to you. But I will give you some guidelines on how to do this analysis. So, what's the 80-20 analysis when it comes to basketball in your offseason? I want you to think about what maybe last offseason was and what you anticipate this offseason being. And I want you to list out, doesn't matter if you type it out, write it out. I prefer pulling out a piece of paper and writing it out, but write out every single activity that is basketball. Because I hear from so many players and so many parents, I go, how was your summer? Oh, it was nonstop basketball. Okay? So I want you to list out those activities. What are some of those activities? I'm just going to, for you, for anybody, it's going to be different, but, let's just talk about some of those. workouts with your trainers, just shooting around on the playground by yourself, doing different drills, conditioning, practicing with your AAU team, going on travel tournaments, playing in open gyms, just playing 3-on-3 with your friends, whatever the case might be, anything. But when we talk about going to a travel tournament, traveling in the car, traveling on the plane, staying in the hotel, all those things, right? Those are basketball, okay? Now that you've got your entire list of everything that's basketball this offseason, I want you to do an 80-20 analysis. I want you to split it into 3 different areas. And what do I mean by an 80-20 analysis? What we're trying to do is identify the 20% of activities or effort that's moving the needle in the areas that we want to move the needle in, helping us move forward to our goals. And your goals are specific to you. So if we're focusing on them and we're emphasizing them and we're prioritizing that 20%, then the 80%, you have to be open to understanding that those activities maybe are not that worthwhile to you, especially specific to your goals, okay? And so therefore you need to minimize those activities and in some cases just eliminate them. And what is that gonna do? That's gonna free up so much space for you to focus in on that 20%, but also to open up time for the other aspects of your life that you want to enjoy. Time with your friends, time with your family, trips, other sports, whatever the case might be. I'm all about hardcore improvement, don't get me wrong, but I am about doing it smartly. And this exercise will help you do it smartly. I'm all about you achieving your goals, but don't get caught up in the hustle culture. Don't get caught up in the, if I'm not doing it nonstop, if every activity is not basketball, then I'm not moving forward or I'm not achieving my goals. No, you can do it efficiently. You can do it efficiently by doing this exercise and prioritizing. I want you to do an 80-20 analysis though in 3 areas. I want you to kind of take, the 20% that's moving the needle and the 80% that's not in 3 different areas. One is your time. The time you're spending, okay? I mentioned travel tournaments. Travel tournaments might be great for one player and not so great for another. Why? Because think about the time that's spent for a travel tournament. It's probably 3 or 4 days long. You're probably traveling someplace, staying in a hotel, all to play 3 or 4 games, which might be moving it forward for your skill set. But if you're looking to improve your game, all that time is probably better spent on the 20% that's going to move you forward on improving your skills. Now, for somebody who's trying to get recruited, that's all really valuable time. That's in the 20%, right? Because I want to network. I want to get in front of coaches. I want to, be seen. That goes in their 20%. And their 80% might be something else that is not as valuable and doesn't move the needle in their goals. If you're just looking to have fun, again. So your time. Then if you're looking for game improvement, I want you to do an 80-20 analysis on specific drills. How much time are you spending on the drills that you need to focus on that are moving the needle in the area of the game you need to improve on? If coach told you you need to come back a better shooter, well, you probably need to focus on the 20% of drills that are making you a better shooter. What are those? I mean, they could be anything, but one-handed shooting, form shooting, getting up the shots, whatever the case might be. If he or she said, listen, you got to become a better defender, you should be focusing on the 20% that are going to make you a better defender and minimizing the 80% of stuff that you're doing under the pretense of working out that maybe isn't moving the needle in the direction you need to for your specific goals. And then the last area I want you to focus on and do an 80-20 analysis is on happiness. And that might seem a little, touchy-feely to you that I'm talking about happiness, but hey, we got to be happy with what we're doing. I want you to look at last offseason and look at this offseason and say, what are the activities that I do, basketball activities, that make me most happy? What are those 20% that really move my enjoyment? Maybe it's just going out to the playground and playing with your friends. I know that's not as much of a thing anymore, going out to the playground, but maybe it is. Maybe it's open gyms. Maybe it's working with a particular trainer. Maybe it is going on those AAU travel tournaments. It doesn't matter, but I want you to prioritize the 20% that moves the needle for you and your happiness. So again, you're going to make a list of everything, every single thing under the idea of basketball, every activity. And then you're going to kind of do an 80-20 analysis on where do these fit for me specifically and my goals in a time category, in a, drills category, if you're looking at specific improvement, and on a happiness category, what's going to make you happiness? Because the goal here, again, is to make your improvement massively efficient and free up time so that you can enjoy this summer, that you can enjoy your time with your family, okay? You don't get caught up in this, I have to be basketball all the time. You can make more improvement than those folks that are nonstop basketball and have a great summer. Have some great experiences. Be a kid, be a high school student, be a college student, whatever the case might be, okay? So that is what you want to do. Make your list. Do an 80-20 analysis on things that you want to prioritize or focus on, the 20% that move the needle. Either minimize or, even eliminate in some cases the 80% that just isn't moving the needle that much. You don't have to eliminate it all, but you might find some things that you call basketball that just aren't moving the needle for you. They're not making you happy, they're not improving you, they're not helping your recruiting efforts, whatever the case might be. So do this analysis. I think this is a tool that you can take forward. I'm all in on Pareto's principle. I'm all in on 80-20 analysis. When it comes to basketball, when it comes to school, when it comes to work, whatever the case might be, this is a skill set that you can take forward and apply to so many aspects of your life. So hopefully that was helpful. Leave me a comment below if you think it was. Tell me some results of your 80-20 analysis. What are 20% of the things that you're going to focus on? What are some of the things that maybe you're going to eliminate or you are going to minimize? And until next week, remember to play hard, play smart, and most importantly, play together. See you next week.